Welcome back to Parent Squad. Easter is nearly here. Are you ready? If you need a little inspiration to help make your Easter meals a little healthier, we got you. Here to help is Riley Children's Health Dietitian, Taylor Parrish. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so this is a big holiday. It's a food holiday. It's a family holiday. One of the things that happens traditionally is the dyeing of eggs. So people love to dye Easter eggs. But you have, what, a healthier dye that folks can use?
Yes, so no artificial dyes. This is all made from food in my kitchen. So we first use cabbage to make this blue color here, and also this lighter blue color. And so the key to any of the dyes that you make is to have a little bit of acid in there. So I just use like vinegar, because that helps adhere to the egg. So there's a darker blue with acid, and this is without, and that kind of shows you the big difference and how important that is to get the color to stick. We use some turmeric as the yellow/orange, and then we use beets for the, it actually looks kind of purpley, but it could be red as well. So that's what those look like here.
I mean, and it's for our kids.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
Right. And then you could like always eat the egg inside too, which is nice. And I think that's why I care more about not having artificial dyes there, is because I will actually eat the egg inside.
Yes. And when you have, I mean, with the cost of eggs, you better eat the eggs inside.
Yes, true.
But also just with some of the other ingredients you might already have in your home.
Exactly.
The turmeric, the apple cider vinegar, the beets. I know we have beets in our house right now.
Yeah.
So if you can use things that you already have, I mean, how much better is that?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And now you have some other items for the non-traditional Easter. Let's talk about that, because you always talk about the holidays don't always have to be centered around food, even though that's what we like.
Yes, yes. So making an Easter basket can be really fun. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but I like to think of, you know, when we celebrate the holidays, it's not just food, right? So the other way I lean into that is in the Easter basket. So for example, if we don't want them to have sugar sweetened beverages or the candy or just candies, you know, with other things in it, I do things like straws. So fun straws to encourage them to drink, let's say, water, if that's a goal of ours, versus just putting in a juice box.
Oh, putting some fruit in that water to make it all fun.
And these are confetti eggs. I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but they have confetti inside. So it's something fun for them to do in the moment too, versus just focusing on candy in a basket. So super cheap to get those. And of course, if we do have some food, I like to do freeze-dried fruit. Any type of fruit is great, just because it's kind of sweet, but at the same time, not necessarily candy. Something they can wear. So I've got a shirt here, or we've got some fun little bunny ears.
Yes, kids love that. I see a journal.
Yes, so this is, my daughter wanted one for her Bible, so she has a little Bible journal here. She loves Calico Critter, so just like a smaller toy, because I mean, this can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. So just try to think of something to do now, something to do later, something that's not just for Easter, because I hate to just spend, you know, the money and the time doing this for, you know, 15 minutes and then, you know, it all goes in the trash or who knows where. So.
And every dollar counts these days, which that is the perfect place to go right now, is the dollar store, because I mean, you're talking about an Easter basket, just a little, we'll say tchotchkes, just the little toys that you can get.
Yes.
Now, as far as some candy and snacks, I see some healthy options that we've talked about before.
Correct. So, you know, I like the brand Yum Earth and Unreal, because they have great products that are similar to the candies that we're used to and love, but a little bit better for us. So these are jelly beans without dyes, but as you can see, they're still colorful. So
My
usually
kid loves that.
Yes,
he loves that.
They're so good, and I can put them in like little eggs here too, or like, you know, Bible verses or money in there as well. But it's just nice because if you want jelly beans, which I feel like a lot of people do for Easter, you do have a better for you option.
Yes.
I do like Lesser Evil popcorn because it's a whole grain, but they also have seasonal flavors. And so this one's sugar cookie for Easter. And
because I have never seen that flavor. I like that popcorn brand too.
They're so good. And like I said, they do have fiber, not a lot of sugar in this, and I feel like it's pretty filling. So I really like these. And then Annie's is a brand that already as is shaped like a bunny. That's kind of like their mascot, more or less. So if you want something that your child already enjoys from Annie's, it's still great for Easter because it's the shape of a bunny.
Okay, love it, love it. And then I see a couple dishes, a couple other items that you can kind of shape up and make it Easter-like.
Exactly. So it doesn't have to mean you go get a new recipe or buy something new. Like we have these Dash waffle makers. I know I always talk about them.
I know.
But they have so many. I have probably 12 of these, but this is an Easter bunny. And you can put in whatever pancake recipe you have or waffle recipe.
The shape of a bunny.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Your eggs, we talked about using eggs in there before too, to kind of make it more kid-friendly. You know, changing up the little cupcake liners for mini muffins for breakfast. Changing out the plate, because presentation for kids helps them really want to eat more or just eat different things.
And you get excited about it, and now the kids come to the table and they're like, what's this?
Yes.
And it's probably the same eggs that you've been cooking, but now it's in an Easter bunny muffin tin pan. There you go.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, so some more healthy snacks we got going on here.
This this here too is if you like carrot cake, but you are gluten-free, you just want something a little bit better, and you don't have time to make carrot cake.
I love carrot cake.
So these are really great. Heavenly Hunks is a good option. I actually got this from Target, so not super hard to find either. And then these in the middle are my peanut butter cups with protein powder in them instead of almond flour, and they taste just like a Reese cup. Even my pickiest child, like, we taste tested these, amazing. And as you can see, they're in the shape of an Easter bunny and an Easter egg. So I've made this.
Did you make these?
I did.
Oh my gosh, this looks professional.
It's so good. I mean, it's just a silicone mold, right? So super easy to find those too. And you can use the same recipe, just make them look a little bit different.
That looks like you bought that. That looks like a professional.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And then our little, every kid loves cheese. And,
yes,
so this is like your Baby Bell cheese, and just add a little bit of ears as the carrots, whiskers as the celery, chocolate chips as the eyes.
Yeah.
Just once again, changing the presentation.
Shape. Yeah, it's in the shape of a bunny. So sweet. Okay, and we keep it moving. I see another little bunny-shaped tackle box here.
I love a good snackle box.
Snackle box.
Yes, snackle box. I mean, it's like a tackle box, but for snacks, right?
Yes.
So I always like to still make a balanced snack, meal, whatever it is, and it can still be fun. So once again, going to presentation, but also being able to utilize what you have on hand. So inside the snackle box, I have carrots in one side, fruit in the other, because once again, trying to get colors, having all of our food groups. In the middle, I have
some
of
very easy to reuse
yeah,
again. I mean,
exactly.
I know it's Easter, but I mean, your kid's still going to be excited about bunnies.
Yeah, and it's only like $4.99 at Target, you know, so cheap too.
Love
I have carrot cake energy bites in the middle, so once again, going to kind of leaning in the carrots for Easter as well, but a balanced snack that's still sweet. And then the lesser evil popcorn in there, and in the little tiny where it would be the bunny tail, like a smaller portion, is where I put the jelly beans.
Oh yes, that's where you could put the candy. I see what you did there.
Yep.
Okay, now we got to get over. We have our whole foods here that are minimally processed, if at all. So we see a veggie dip and a fruit tray. What's going on here?
So sometimes if you don't want to be as creative and like make the shape, I can just get the container that is the shape and just fill it in.
Perfect.
So that's what we did for this. And then a little inspiration of the bunny face, whatever dip you want. It can be an actual like ranch dressing, but I just did hummus here because I feel like hummus goes with all these veggies.
Yes.
And of course the asparagus as the whiskers. But what I like about this is not your average veggie tray, because it doesn't have to just be raw veggies. So I did roasted cauliflower with buffalo sauce in the bottom there. That's what that orange is.
Okay.
And it just, you know, I don't mind it cold, but even just to show like it doesn't have to just be raw vegetables that you get from the store. It's very easy to make something, and then like carrot chips, for example, versus carrot sticks.
Okay.
And I think it's easier to eat as a dip if you have a carrot chip versus a carrot stick.
Very true. Two things I'm learning with veggies: just put them out there.
Yeah.
Even if your kid takes a couple of bites, that's a couple more bites than they would have normally had. So still, like, keep offering it if you feel like your children aren't really taking to it or eating it. Eventually it'll click.
Yeah,
so
and it's a positive exposure, which is what we want, because we know it can take multiple positive exposures, 15 to 20, to even want to try a food.
I love it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not hummus dip. Maybe it is like the ranch or blue cheese dressing, which may not be as healthy, but at least they're still getting a carrot or broccoli stick. They're getting what they would not have had if they hadn't had it.
Exactly.
That's what I have learned.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, I love it. And then I see the fruit tray here, again, all in fun shapes and fun trays. That you
and whatever they want, but once again, color, right? Like, so even if it's fruit, it doesn't have to just be color and veggies. Like, these have vitamins and minerals, they have fiber as well, and they're a little sweeter. So if you're just looking to add some color, it's a really great way to do it, and it's a shape of an egg.
Yes.
So I think it's really fun.
And hopefully the adults get a little bit more fruits and vegetables in as well.
You're right.
Super fun. Am I looking at a sexy salad over here?
You are a sexy salad.
Okay, Taylor, it is her trademark, the sexy salad. This is what she does, what she loves. So we got to get to it. What is in this beautiful salad over here?
So the sexy salad this time has farro as my grain. So it's kind of like a chewy, thicker rice. It is a wheat product, so it's not rice. And then we have hemp seeds, which is like a healthy fat and animal protein. We've got blood oranges in there, so a little bit different.
I was surprised to see
They're kind of
that.
tangy, so less sweet than oranges, but they're a little more colorful.
But these are usually at the grocery store. You might pay a little bit more, but if you're trying to make something, you know, more exciting, more appetizing, sometimes
something
you
new.
splurge.
Yeah. And then we've also got some feta cheese in there and some strawberries, and then pistachios is my nut, because I like to have all the different food groups. That kind of is what makes it a sexy salad in a whole bunch of different colors. And then I actually took ribbons from carrots, like as you're peeling a carrot, it makes like a ribbon.
Okay.
And I put that in the oven with some butter and a little bit of brown sugar, and it made my crunch. So sometimes you want a good crunch besides the nut. So that is what the carrot is. So we're adding color and fiber still, but it's a sexy salad because there is so much stuff to it, and it's not just lettuce.
The grains, the everything, a little fat in the cheese.
Yes, exactly. And then I have like just a poppy seed dressing. I'll be honest, I was a little, I didn't have all the ingredients to make a poppy seed. I know it's very easy to make your own at home, but you know, it doesn't mean everything has to be homemade, right?
Yeah.
And Primal Kitchen's a good one that has like cleaner ingredients. But I think just like a fruity poppy seed type dressing with that type of salad would be great.
I love it, love it, love it. And then one more item over here. It looks like Greek yogurt, but I know it's not Greek yogurt because Taylor made it. She doesn't do just plain Greek yogurt like the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is, the base is Greek yogurt at the bottom, but I made it into like a carrot cake type flavor. So think of like your nutmeg, your cinnamon, vanilla extract, that type of thing, some maple syrup. And on the top, like you would do like a carrot cake muffin, you have some smashed pineapple, crushed pineapple in there, and then toasted walnuts on the top. So that could be a complete meal by itself, or add a little bit of granola if you want. But you know, that way it's not just here, have plain Greek yogurt, because it's not as appetizing, you know?
Which, I mean, depending on the fruit and what you're adding to it, this could be dessert, or it could be breakfast, or the snack that we all need. You know how you're like, oh, I need a little something sweet, or I could go for ice cream.
Yeah, and that's why I make these.
Not ice cream, but go for it.
But it's close, and that's why you have like all these sweet things that are balanced. So when they're balanced like this, you can eat it as a snack. It doesn't have to just be, oh, this is a dessert. You know, it's just sugar. That's why I like to make things that are sweet and good for us, so you don't have to feel like you're missing out.
Even if this is just one meal, or even if these are, some of these end up being the appetizer before people really, really eat, because we know people want to eat. It's another food holiday, if you will. And so ham is very popular on Easter, but you have some ways where we can actually mix this stuff into the ham or the heavier dinner that we might have, or how we can redo some leftovers later if we're going to use that ham.
Yeah, so with hams in general, I think sometimes it's hard to find a good one that you feel like is, I guess you could say, clean or healthier in the sense that it doesn't have a lot of additives. And pork products, unfortunately, do have a lot of additives to it. So this is a one-time, like if you have a local butcher, I would try that, just because there's a lot of like nitrates and like cured hams, which has a lot more sodium to it, which, you know, is pork products in itself. So you can, it's very easy to make your own glaze. I really say, if anything, please don't use the glaze that comes with it, because it's so easy to make your own with just whole ingredients, whether it's your own brown sugar, maple syrup. You don't need the can of Coke. You don't need, you know, those types of things. And so, you know, and then it's like, it has great flavor on its own. So cover it when you cook it to keep the juices in there, because it's a little bit higher in fat versus like a turkey, right?
Yes, yes.
So I feel like it holds its moisture well, and like adding cloves to it. You know, what kind of, how do you like your hams at home typically?
Honey baked.
Honey baked, okay. So you could do honey, right? It's still different than using the glaze with who knows what else has been added to it.
Yes.
So you could still do that, and what's nice is a lot of this stuff just cooks down into the juice, so it doesn't mean you're just like, you know, drinking all the juice from the bottom of the ham, right?
Honey baked, because I like the savory, salty. I like getting both in.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
All great tips. I'm super excited. Again, get your veggies in one way or another, with the meal, before the meal, a different serving. It's just lots of different ways to do it. And maybe you make one of these swaps. Maybe you could do a few of these swaps. Just do what you can. That's what Taylor is always encouraging.
Yes, and leftovers are always great. So reuse these with your ham. You can always do like a ham and bean salad. Some of your veggies, cut it up, put it with your ham, or put it on like an egg bites for the morning. I know we'll talk about like another episode, but like just, you know, add it as a protein to the salad, egg bites, wraps, burritos, whatever it is, and it freezes well too.
Yes.
So don't waste if you don't have to, because it can be added to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, rethink and get creative. If you want to learn more about Taylor, we've got a link at WTHR.com/Parent Squad. Stay with us, because we're talking the Essential Sports Parent Survival Kit with the City Moms.